I'm shooting on a DJI Osmo Action, and before I update to Betaware, I'm going to show all what my information is on the camera. Down below, device information. It's the Osmo with the serial number, firmware version 01.01.04.40, which is the application. The camera firmware version is 10.00.06.25. If we update to beta on this camera, then what's going to happen is I'm no longer going to be going back to 06.25 according to DJI, and we'll have to wait further for future official firmware. So let's turn on the camera. Let's get it to connect. There is the firmware. Now, if you think about just keeping this firmware in your camera, doing your test, let me tell you another thing. This will expire, and that is something DJI has done. They've given you a number of days to download the firmware. Now, how do we download firmware? On the mobile app, you click on the firmware, you click on download, and if you read nice and carefully, and let's do a picture, it says enhance the clarity of certain configurations. Everything below that is from 1.00.06.25. That is the only thing they added in. So note, currently connected to the mobile network. Are you sure you want to download? Yes, because some cameras will do what? Charge you data. So if I simply close the app, will it load? I'm going to leave it alone. I'm going to go back and check. DJI Osmo Action version 01.01.05.40. Why would I take firmware and downgrade? That is a question we all now have to ask. I am on firmware 01.00.06.05.25. I don't even know. So we're going to install. So we're installing the latest firmware. I wish they would just put firmware version 1.01, firmware version 1.02. And if you're going to put Betaware, do version 1.01.5. But this way, here you are, updating. To give you some information, if Betaware is 01.01.05.30, that is Betaware. So why is everybody given different firmware? Camera firmware is 10.00.06.28. Something is not right with DJI. We are nearly completed. Again, Osmo Action V01.01.0540. So that seems to be like I'm on the latest firmware version. I'm going to leave this as is. I'm going to go to the camera. I'm going to swipe down. I'm going to look at my camera version firmware. Disk information. We are on app version 01.01.05.40. I don't know. Osmo Action 01.01.0540. Camera version 10.00.06.29. I am on the latest firmware version while This person here is on the earlier version 10.00.06.28. Oh, what happened to the days you're able to zoom in doing this on your screen? Thank you, Windows 11. So I hope that you all get the idea that now I .30 cm. I'm going to move my camera what I think is about 40 cm. I'm going to hold it where I think I am comfortable between 38 to 42. Now, we can't get really into too much detail on how we hold things, but I am on firmware version 1.00.06.29. It is the latest Betaware on the market. Everybody's got other firmware that is 1.00.06.28. I am going to pan around, and I'm going to move the camera a little closer as I pan. How do I look to you? I'm at 4K, 24 frames per second. Outdoor shots, I should change to 48 frames per second. I am 24 frames per second. I am definitely on 48 frames per second, and I am going to pull out. I'm going to take a small walk in a few seconds. This is my test to you. Everybody said my camera was a good camera. It looked presentable. Well, let me tell you this. When I do my reviews inside natural lighting, I have a lot of grain on my blue. I can see it like a TV set. And I don't think it's 100% par. And I feel that DJI has now become a budget camera, trying to lead the budget camera market, the top of the line, while GoPro is a higher class camera, offering a lot more than what DJI can. And everybody's taking DJI and comparing it to GoPro, the better camera, and vice versa. Simply take a look at the water. The sun is about at a 10 o'clock position. I am pretty close to the water. Of course, the water in my eyes will be blurry. It is not going to be crystal clear to the bottom. I am walking with the camera to the bottom on the selfie stick that opens up about 18 inches. So it's probably another 2 feet off the floor. From my hip down to my knee, to my calf, the camera is really about by my knee. I'm going to bend down. So I am definitely under 30 cms to the floor. How does this look to you as I get closer to the water? I am simply going to do a very slow pan at 48 frames per second at 4K. My field of view should be de-warp on. I don't like using de-warp off. I'm going to change to de-warp off. In order for me to take de-warp off, I have to get off of horizon plus balancing. That would be when I take my camera and tilt it to the side so the horizon doesn't stay level. That is something that we should have. In addition, de-warp off for wide with horizon balancing, but then everything gets thrown out of proportion. So I'm going to have to either shoot Real steady, rock steady, that is. De-warp off. I'm not going to stick my camera in the face and continue to walk like this, but this is what 30 cm is. And I kind of shoot like everybody else between 30 cm and 40 cm. The problem is DJI put on an extra wide field of view lens. It is not a DJI lens of the Osmo Action. Wider may not be better. See the fish in the water? They hear the sound and they run.